The Food, Beverage and Tobacco Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, FOBTOB, is appealing to the federal government to urgently reconsider and rescind the ban on sachet alcoholic beverages. Addressing newsmen on Tuesday in Lagos, the president of the association, Comrade Owoeye, said the decision, though taken in response to concerns about underage drinking, could lead to severe economic and social consequences if not reviewed. Comrade Owoeye explains that while protecting minors from alcohol abuse is important, the real challenge lies in poor enforcement of existing regulations rather than the products themselves.
We passionately make the following appeal in order to avert the grave repercussions that will most definitely follow the ban. 1. For the purpose of fair hearing, and to exhibit good faith, the Senate should invite relevant stakeholders to a public hearing in order to hear the other side and be adequately educated to make an informed decision. 2. Prior to the above, the Senate should please rescind his directive to NAFDAC to ban alcoholic beverages in sachet and upward of 20 ml from December 31st, 2025. The Senate should carefully look at and consider the endorsement of the validated national alcohol policy in view of its multiple sectional implementation framework.
He was quick to warn that if the ban remains in place, over 500,000 jobs could be lost across the industry, as this will affect factory workers, distributors, transporters, retailers, and small-scale traders whose livelihood depends on the production and sale of sachet alcoholic beverages. The FOBTOB president further discloses that with the ban, investment valued at more than 2 trillion naira are at risk of being destroyed, noting that many companies have invested heavily in machinery, infrastructure, and manpower that could become redundant overnight.
These are massive investments. It is not just one-room company. It is not just one-room company. If you visit these companies, you know too well that Nigerians have invested in these companies. And so closing these pack sizes is like as well as closing the company. Because whether we like it or not, today's economy is driven by sachet. It's a sachet economy. Almost virtually everything we eat is in sachet. And what brought the idea of sachet? Affordability. Nobody, many of us, you know, cannot afford, let's say for instance, a powdered milk of about 400 grams in a container, which is well over 2,000 naira. But if you can have 100 naira, you can get a sachet and quench your satisfaction.
Nigerians have made. It is not about foreigners. These are indigenous Nigerian companies. And if they've done this one and have given employment to so many Nigerians directly and indirectly, and this ban that has now come is not lifted, is going to affect many. We talk about the economy, is going to affect the health even of people. And like we all know, and like what the President mentioned also, we will always have a way of getting whatever it is that we want.
Comrade Owoeye emphasizes that strengthening regulation and enforcement rather than imposing an outright ban is the most effective way to address the issues surrounding abuse and underage consumption, while urging the government to adopt measures such as stricter age control monitoring, controlled distribution channels, and appropriate sanctions for violators.
But when the effort is not yielding, as stakeholders, as concerned employees, as concerned people that their job is being threatened, okay, we have a role to play. And that role is to also send a message to the government to say, this decision you are taking is not going to be favorable to us, okay, and the larger society. Can you give us your ear? Let us also explain our own side of the story. Because taking one side of the story and passing a judgment amounts to not giving us fair hearing.
The appeal, however, is for collaboration between government agencies, manufacturers, labor unions, and other stakeholders to develop policies that safeguard our public health without crippling the economy or rendering thousands of Nigerians jobless. The expectation now is for the National Assembly to invite these critical stakeholders for discussion on the way forward. Adenike, Owoeye, Ajiboye, Superscreen News.